Hello and welcome to another Learn Scratch tutorial. Today we're going to be showing you how to make a mini golf game. So we've got a ball here, we've got the hole there, we've got some obstacles it's going to bounce off, and over here we've got a power bar. So let's see how good I am at my game. Ooh, not, oh no, so get it over there maybe. Out there. Oh, as you can see I'm not very good at this game, even though I made it. There we go, perfect. And if you get it in the hole, it moves through to the next level. There we go, brilliant. And let's see if we can do a little bit better on this level. There we go, and I go through to level 3. Let's see if we can get through. And there we go, 1, 2, and hey, and it goes through to the next level. Okie doke, well, it's actually the start level, but let's get started. So first thing we need to do, head over to Scratch. Good stuff. We'll close down there. But we'll leave my game up there in case I want to have a look at it. And let's click Create. Brilliant. So the first thing we're going to do is we'll get the first level sorted out. Might as well do the backdrop. So click onto the stage. And on the stage, let's pick a nice green colour. Don't like any of those colours. So what I'll do is I'll click on the this thing here, a little colour select, and let's make my own colour. A nice little warmer green. Maybe that colour? Should we have a look? Perfect. I like that green. So we've got green, good green background there. And for the walls, I'll go for a browny colour at the moment. There you go, that'll do. Browny wall, good stuff. Let's click on this one here so it makes it solid. And let's do our obstacles for our first level. There we go. Now, I would advise you obviously to take your time making the obstacles, do lots of detail and stuff like that, but for the sake of this tutorial I'll just do some simple obstacles. There we go. Good, and let's call that number 1, and while we're here let's do 2 more levels while we're here. So let's click on the fill, let's click on the eyedropper to pick the green, and then we can, click on the eyedropper, click the green, and then we can fill, which will get rid of the obstacles from the previous level. Let's do that as well with that one. There we go, 1, 2, 3. And then what we'll do is we'll click on the eyedropper to select the brown again. It's important that you use the same colour for all your obstacles at the moment, because we're going to do a bouncing off colour sort of script. So if it's not the right colour, then it won't bounce off, it'll just go straight through it. Make sure it's solid again. Let's do there we go. Let's do that for level 2. And is that actually done that for level 2? Yeah, there we go. And level 3. Let's do. Oh no, that's no good. Level 3. Let's do. Oops. What am I doing? Oh, because I'm not selected the right one. Level 3. Let's do some squares. Let's do a few more obstacles this time. There we go. A little bit harder this level. There we go. Good. There we go. Brilliant. So I've got level 1, level 2, level 3. Obviously you can spend more time with yours. Notice I have renamed them 1, 2 and 3. That's okay, that might come in handy later on, I don't know. And let's get rid of Scratch. Delete Scratch, we don't want Scratch. So the first thing we want here is we want a ball. Let's have a look. There's a ball there. That's a nice handy ball. So let's click on the ball. This is going to be our golf ball. And we'll move it over to the start. Good stuff. And let's get rid of these other costumes. We don't want the other costumes. There we go. There we go. And there we go. And let's make our ball. Can we paint it? Click on the ball. Let's paint our ball white. There you go. It's a little bit big. Let's make it a bit smaller. About there maybe. Obviously you can have the ball whatever size you want. I'm going to go for that size. There we go. Perfect. Good. So there we go. There's our ball. And it's called ball, which is good. And then let's create another one. Use sprite. Let's use that ball again for the hole. And let's put that there. Good. Get rid of all these spare costumes again. That's for our hole. And the hole will paint black for the moment. There we go. You can paint it whatever colour you want, but just remember later on in your scripts if you have changed the colour, then you're going to have to change the colour that it's sensitive to when we do the scripts. That's great. And let's make that a little bit smaller. There you go. So far we've got a hole and we've got a ball. Brilliant. Perfect. So the next thing we want to do, oh, actually let's rename that. Let's call that hole. There we go. Good. The ball and the hole. Good stuff. So we've got a background, a ball and a hole. So now what we want to do is we want to get the mechanics of the game itself going. So the ball itself, it's going to have a speed. The speed's going to change, which means we want to use a variable, and let's call that speed. There we go. And the speed of the ball is going to change, and the speed of the ball is going to be set initially, well, to 0, and then when you click on your mouse, when you actually click, it's going to set to whatever the power it is that you've set it to. So the idea being that the further away you are from the ball, the more power that we provide to the ball. So if we click it here, it will move a little bit. If we click here, it will move a long way. So we're going to need a speed variable and a power variable. Good. So how do we set these? Well, the power's nice and easy. When we press start, forever, let's set the power to the distance. There we go. Make sure you're on the ball here. The distance to the mouse pointer. Let's have a look at that. Let's see what that does. Okay, you can see the power up here. But there's two problems with that power, I think. First of all, it's too big. And second of all, it's got decimal places, which you don't really need. So let's change that slightly. First of all, let's set the power to the distance of the mouse pointer divided by 10. There we are. Let's have a look. Yep, that's more like it. This is getting powers probably somewhere close to what we need. And then let's just use the round function on that. There we go. The round function. There you go. Look at that. That power's much more like much nicer, neater power that we can work with. So we've got power that the further your mouse is from the ball, it increases, the closer it goes down. But it also, we use the round function to make it a whole number. We divide it by 10 to make it a manageable number. Brilliant. Excellent. So how do we get it moving? Well, if you look here, you can see there's no block here that says when the mouse button is clicked. So what we need to do instead is let's do a forever, and unless there's one on the stage, is it on the stage clicked? Let's have a look. I don't think that works. No. So we'll do a forever, and let's say if the mouse button is clicked, here we go. If the, what have we got here? Mouse down, there you go. So if the mouse is down, then we're going to set the power to whatever the power is according to that. So if the mouse is down, set the power to, and it'd be whatever the power, not set the power, sorry. Set the speed, I'm going a little bit crazy. Set the speed to whatever the power is. There you go. So now, hopefully, there you can see, every time I click the mouse button, the speed changes to whatever the power was. Good. There you go, done. Good. So we've got one script here that sets the power, one that when you press the mouse button it sets the speed to the power, and now we need a third script here that is going to control the actual speed. So let's have a look. Forever loop, game forever. There you go. There we go. And here we go. All we need to do now is move the speed number of steps. So let's have a look. Let's press start. Way, brilliant. And as you can see, every time I press start, it moves the speed number of steps. Perfect. But of course, that's all very well and good. But when it hits the edge, it's no good. We want it to bounce. So let's put a bounce on there. If on edge bounce, let's have a look. And now we've got a ball that's bouncing around forever. Brilliant. Not quite crazy golf just yet, but we're getting there. Cool. And as you can see, actually, if we click further away or closer to where it is, it moves at different speeds. So, good. Excellent so far. But we don't want this ball to bounce forever. We need to apply a bit of friction to it. So how do we do that? Well, friction's nice and easy. we just say if its speed, let's have a look, if its speed is greater than, let's have a look, there we go, let's say if its speed is greater than 1, do 1. If its speed is greater than 1, what we'll do is, and you can change these values later, if speed is greater than 1, then we'll set the speed to, and then these are divided by, there we go, speed divided by, let's try 2 for the start, there we go. So there you go, let's have a look. So if I click on it here, as you can see now, it starts to speed up and then it slows down. Slowing down a bit too quickly, so let's try 1.5, let's try that. Let's have a look, it's still going down too quickly, so let's try 1.1. Now we're getting closer. Let's try 1.03, or 1.03, there we go. Notice this is trial and error, there's no actual values that you need to do it, and you're going to want to change it in your game depending on however you want it, how much friction you want. You can't go less than 1, because if you divide something by less than 1, it will speed up, and it will go, well, there you go, you can see infinity there, so that's no good. So let's do 1.03, there we go. There you go, that's about right. I might tweak that later on depending on how things go. Now I've said here if it's greater than 1, go to 1.03, because what I want to say here is, in fact I have to change that to an if else. If the speed is greater than 1, there we go, if speed is greater than, set it to that. Otherwise, set the speed to 0. There we go, let's try that now. So if it's greater than 1, this way, because otherwise if you set it to greater than 0, what will happen is it'll just keep moving, it'll keep going tiny amount and it'll never stop. So you just want it to stop eventually. Let's try that. Let's have a look. So there we go. Perfect. There you go. So if it's greater than 1, set it to 0. There you go. There we go. Set speed to 0. There you go. And let's have a look. So that's a bit better now, isn't it? Look at that. There we go. Good. Now, so there we go. So we've got it moving, we've got it bouncing off the edge. Now what we need to do is we need to do it so that it's actually going to shoot in the correct direction. Now that's actually really quite easy, because you just go back to this mouse down script here and we just get it to point towards wherever the mouse pointer is. There. So when we click it, it points towards the mouse pointer. Let's have a look. There we go. Look at that's better, isn't it? Sort of bouncing around now, isn't it? There we go. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Brilliant. That's bouncing perfectly. There's a bit more work that we need to do to these scripts, but already you can see we're getting a game where the ball's starting to behave semi-realistically. There we go. So now what we need to do is we need to get it so that when it hits these orangey brown wall things, it actually bounces off rather than going through it. So what we'll do first of all, let's just hide those two variables so you can see these walls. And we need to create a new script. There we go, a new script, there we go. And another forever loop, because this is going to be keep checking. We'll have a lot of these forever loops in games where we have to keep checking stuff. And we want to do something if it's touching that colour. So let's have a look. If it's touching colour, click on there, click on your green thing. So if it's touching the colour, what do we want it to do? Well, we want it to bounce off in the opposite direction. So if it's coming along here, if it hits the wall, it needs to bounce that way. If it's coming here, it needs to bounce that way. If it's coming here, it needs to bounce that way. And here, it needs to bounce that way. So it could be hitting it anything from one of 4 directions. So that's quite complicated to actually work that out if we wanted to work it out manually. But don't worry, because there's a little way we can sort of cheat and make it do it quite easily. The way to do it is, first of all, we think about, well, what is direction? Well, direction, in Scratch, it uses degrees, and there are 360 degrees in a circle, which means that let's say it was going at 2. Let's say this was let's say this is 315 degrees. Then, if it's 315 degrees, then it needs to be the other side of the circle. It needs to go there, and it needs to bounce off the other way. So it needs to change its direction there by a certain amount. Now, how do we do that? Well, we could start doing it where we say if it hits this and it's going that way, then we can do it by 90. If it hits this, it's going to do that. It's going by 90. But we can just do a little trick here instead. And what we'll do is we'll say, there we go, nice quick trick, and we'll point in direction because we're going to change its direction. And we'll do, this is a great thing about Scratch, we'll do 180 degrees minus whatever its direction was before. There we go. There we go. So, if it's touching colour, it's going to change direction, going exactly the opposite direction. But there's a problem here, because if it's touching colour here now, by the time it's touching the colour, it's already inside it. You won't see this, but it'll be stuck inside it, and it'll start doing some crazy things. Let's just show you. There you go. You can see it starts to do a bit of a crazy sort of wiggle if it goes in too far. Look at that. Crazy wiggle, crazy wiggle, crazy wiggle. So how do we fix that? Well, the first thing we need to do is we change direction and we get it to move back out of wherever it was really, really quickly. Move speed steps. So change direction and move back out. Let's have a go at that. Let's just run that. Let's see if that works. There we go. You see it's working perfectly now for the the horizontal bouncing, but not for the vertical bouncing. There we go. Brilliant. Starting to work perfect horizontal, not for the vertical. So how does it work on the vertical? Well, I thought about this for a while. I couldn't do it, so I had to look around some other Scratch projects, and it turns out actually it's really, really easy. You just put another if statement. Now be careful. This has got to go inside the original if statement. There we go. And we do another if touching colour. There we go. And what we do here now is, let's just borrow that, let's get rid of that one. We're going to move speed steps, but we don't want it to go that way. We want it to go that way. So what we do is we do speed steps times -1. So it will move in the opposite direction. There we go. There we go. So move steps speed times -1. And then we point in the direction. Again, we need to change the direction. There we go, point in direction. But this time, what we do is we don't minus 180, we add 180. There you go. So 180 plus direction. There we go. There we are. And this should, there we go, do that. So we change the direction, add 100 to it, change direction. And then what we do is we just move again, move a little bit. I'm just being really lazy there, just getting the bit there. Move the speed steps again to get out of the object. So it's just to move us out of the objects so that our other script, our normal moving speed script, which is this one, can then function. Let's have a go at that now. Look at that there. Oh, almost there. Let's have a look. There you go. Perfect. There we go. There you go, brilliant. And that's it. Now it's bouncing off all of the objects. It's got both a proper bounce and it's got some friction in there as well. Perfect. Brilliant. Good. So that's that part of it. Now what we want to do is we want to move on to the part where it goes into the hole. So with our ball landing in the hole, what we want to do is we want to say, okay, if it's really, really close to the hole, then we want it to drop inside of it. But we don't want it to drop inside the hole if it's going really, really quickly. Because if you think about it, if you shoot your ball like that through the hole really, really quickly, then it wouldn't go in the hole if you're playing proper mini golf. It would sort of bounce over the top a little bit. So we don't want to do that. So what we want to say now is, let's have a look. Where should we put it? Let's put it inside this script here. We want to say if, let's just stop you. There we go. So what we're going to say, if we're quite close to the hole, so how do we do that? Let's have a look. Distance to the hole. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's probably, there we go. Distance to, yeah, there we go. So if the distance to the hole is less than, let's try 10 for the moment. You could tweak yours later. So if the distance to the hole is less than 10 and our speed, where's our speed? There we go. And our speed is less than Let's go slow. What, 2? Maybe 2, 5. I'm going to do 2. And our speed is less than 2. There we go. So if the distance to the hole is less than 10 and our speed is less than 2, what are we going to do? Well, what we can do is we'll glide slowly. We need to glide to the center. So how do we glide to the center or move to the center? Well, we'll use the glide function, and we're going to glide to where? Well, the easiest way to do that is to find out where it's at. The X position of the hole and the Y position of the hole. This little script here is quite good because it means it doesn't matter where on the screen the hole is, it's still going to work. So we'll glide slowly to the X position of the hole and the Y, Y position of the hole. There we go. We'll make that a bit bigger so you can see that. The X position of the hole and the Y position of the hole. Once we've done that, we're going to make our ball go a little bit smaller so it looks like it's animated, it's disappearing down the hole. So we'll just use a nice little repeat. Repeat 5 times, and we'll just make it a bit smaller. Change size by, so look, -5. Change size by -5. So repeat 5 times, change by -5. There we go. And then we're going to, so look, in fact, then we'll stop this scripts. Because we want to stop. Here we go. Stop, stop, stop. Stop this script. And we'll stop the other scripts in the sprite as well. There we go. We want to do something else afterwards, but there we go. Let's put this here. Where can that go? Well, that won't go there. Let's stop other scripts in the sprite. Then we'll stop this script. There we go. Just make that a bit smaller. There we go. There we go. So change, and that hopefully, let's find out. Let's have a look. So now, oops. There we go. Hey, there you go. So it pops into there. There you go. Boop. There you go. Good. In fact, actually, we'll get it to hide afterwards once it's gone in there. There we go. Hide, and then it goes in there. Good. Now, there we go. But as you can see now, if I press start again, the problem we've got here, of course, is our ball hasn't returned to its original size, which means that every time we go in the hole, if we have a look at it, watch it, every time it goes in the hole, it's going to get smaller and smaller, isn't it? And then it's just eventually going to disappear. So what we'll do is, at the start of this script here, set size to 75%, is that right? Oh, that's okay. It probably is, but we'll have to show it as well. Let's have a look. Yeah, there we go. So let's have a look. Let's move in there a minute. Oops. Ah, okay. Then we've got a problem here that we need it to start over here as well. So let's just say move to, go to there. It's okay. Let's have a look. Does that work? There you go. Yeah, it's working. There you go. Now, as you can see, there is a bit of a problem here because every time I press start, it keeps shooting straight over there. We'll look at that in a minute. We'll deal with that in a little while. But let's just solve one problem at a time. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Good. So that's about right, isn't it? This is about right. There's still a few little glitchy bits. We'll get to those in a bit. So once we've done that now, what we need to do now is we need to get it so that it changes from this level to the next level. So let's go to our backdrops. Here we go. We start on backdrop 1, and then after the first level we want it to move it to 2. After the second level we want it to move it to backdrop number 3. So how do we do that? Well, first of all, at the start of the game we want to set the backdrop to in fact, let's just create a new variable because we're going to have to keep track of what level it is. There you go. Or do we need to? No, I don't think we do actually. Not in this one. Maybe in your game you might want to, but ours, we're just going to go set the backdrop to, there we go, set it to backdrop 1. There we go. Good. There we go. So at the start of the game, we set the backdrop to backdrop 1. And now we need some way of recognizing when it's at the end of, let's just stop that, when it's at the end of a level. So let's have a look. Here we go. So we need to use, to do this, we need to use a broadcast as the easiest way. There are other ways, but I'm going to use a broadcast. So let's have a look. Here we go. So before we stop all these scripts, let's just broadcast and let's say next level. There we go. Next. hole. I'll do next level. Golf is next hole, but we're going to call it next level. There you go. So next level. Here we go. So what does the stage want? What does the stage want to do when it gets to the next level? So when I receive next level, we need to switch to. Here we go. So next backdrop. That should work. There we go. Good. So let's have a look. Here we go. When I receive next level, switch to the next backdrop. We then need to restart all of this script, that script, that script, and that script, so that once we get to the next level, it moves back to the start and we can start doing stuff again. So how do we do that? Well, we're going to have to change these when start clicked. There we go. And we're going to have to swap all these to a when I receive, and this is going to be start. Start this level. Oh, we'll just call it start level rather than start this level. There we go, start level. There we go. So when I receive start level, let's have a look. Let's get rid of that. When I receive, change all of these to when I receive start level. When I receive start level. There we go. Change all that to that. When I receive start level, start level, start level, then do that. Now there you go. So these are the receivers. These broadcast receivers here. So when I receive this message, do all that. But of course, none of that's going to actually work until we actually broadcast it. And the best place to broadcast it is after we've received next level. Switch to the next backdrop, and then broadcast start level. Good. So hopefully. Let's have a look. Oh, of course, there we go. The only problem here is at the start of the game, we need to start the level here as well. So when we press start, we need to start the level because that's going to be starting level 1. So let's have a look. Brilliant. Perfect. Switches to backdrop 1. Let's see if we can just... Oops. Can we move that in? There you go. Perfect. Good. Done. So it's switched to the next level. Obviously there's still a few problems with it which we're going to have to tweak, but it's starting to get there. Here we go. So let's have a look. There you go. Hey. Good, and it's switching to the next level. So good, perfect. So what problems have we got? Well, first of all, the problem is that when we press start, it switches to the right level, but then it starts to go super, super fast. Why is it going super, super fast? Well, the reason is this little script here starts instantly. So because when you click start, it instantly starts. It then instantly sees that the mouse is down, because your mouse is down while you're clicking the start. It then sets the speed to that. So how do we stop it from doing that? Well, why don't we just put a little wait on there first? Let's have a look. Wait 1 second. And also is, of course, at the start of the game, we need to set the speed to 0. And the power to 0. There you go. So let's have a look. Press start. 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 There you go. There we go. Ooh. That's looking a bit better now, isn't it? There you go. Press start. Let's have a quick look at those variables. Let's see what's happening here. Oh. There we go. When I receive start level, set power to 0. Oh, there you go. That's because the power here is instantly going up as well. So let's just wait 1 second before we start doing. Let's change the power as well. There you go. That's a bit better, isn't it? That's a little bit more civilized. So we press start, it moves to the correct point, and then it sets the power to the right sort of thing. There we go. Let's try that again. Let's make sure that's working. Yeah, there we go. So that seems to be working a bit better. Here we go. Now, there you go. What could happen here is if we press start and then we hold on to it, it starts shooting off straight away. Now what's happening there is because we press start, we might hold on to the start button. It's then shooting off. We might not let go of the start button instantly. Ooh. So how do we stop it from doing that? Well, here's the script responsible for the if mouse down. Why don't we just stop that script from running, wait a little while, wait until you stopped pressing the mouse button. Here we go. So wait until not, and then mouse button down, mouse down, there you go. So with this script here, it will wait to start doing all this until the mouse button's not pressed. Let's have a look at that. There you go. And now, if I hold, hold in the mouse button, it's not doing anything. There you go. There you go. Perfect. Brilliant. There we go. Let's have a look. Start. Good. That's not going to the right position, so let's just move that to the right spot. Let's swap that motion. Go to. Let's swap that on there for there. There you go. So let's hopefully that'll move. Why is that not going to the right spot? Oh well, I'll have to do it manually. X is, if you look here, look at the X, minus 200, minus 150. I don't know why it's not doing that manually. Minus 200, minus 150. Being a bit of a pain there. There you go. So now whenever we press start, it goes to the right spot. Good. And there you go, it bounces around. Perfect. Good. Now, notice one minor glitch there was that the ball went behind the hole. So we don't want that to happen. So what we want to do there is when start clicked, there we go. When start clicked for the hole, let's send the hole back. And let's just put 10 layers because that'll do it. That sends it right to the back. Let's press start again. We go back to the first level. There we go. Good. Let's go to there. Hey, brilliant. There we go. And it goes through to the next level. So we're pretty much there now. We're all pretty much there. Now, pretty much there. We've got one little glitch here where if you look here, if I keep clicking the mouse button, it'll keep moving around. It'll keep changing the speed. That's not how we want the game to work. We want it so that every time you click the mouse button, it moves and you can't click it again until the ball is stopped. So how do we do that? Well, there you go. So we're going to have to change this bit here because that controls when we can actually work. So we want to say if the mouse is down, there we go, but we need to do one more thing here as well. We need to put an and in here. So if the mouse is down and, there we go, and the speed is greater than 0. Where's greater than? And the speed is greater than 0. Oh, sorry, less than 0. Oh, equal to 0. I'm going crazy. Because we only want it to be able to move if the speed is 0. If the speed equals 0. There you go. So, there we go. So, if the mouse is down and the speed equals 0, then you can set the power to it, and then you can do there. That's okay. And also is we then want it to wait until the mouse is not down before it'll do it again. Let's have a look. Let's try that now. So now if we click it, it goes. If I'm clicking now, it's not moving. And until, there we go, until it stops, I can't click it again. There we go. Perfect. So there's the next glitch. That's that glitch sorted. Let's just hide those power and speed again. There we go. In fact we'll keep the power on because we're going to use that in a minute. But the speed needs to go. There we go, which is good. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to do this little power bar that appears here that we, on the top or the bottom. So let's create ourselves a new sprite. There we go. Create a new sprite. Let's just stop the game for the moment. Let's call this number 1. And all we want is a rectangle this time. We'll just do, let's try the brown, there we go. Or maybe that sort of colour, there we go. Stop that, it's bouncing around. And let's do a rectangle for our power bar, that's okay, that's good. Let's zoom in, and we'll do some lines. Now here's a little tip, if you want a straight line that doesn't go in diagonals like that, if you hold on to the shift button it forces it to go either horizontal or vertical. So you can do a nice straight line power bar. There you go. So there we go. Let's just create those. Try and make them, you obviously take quite a bit of time in it. I'm doing it quickly for the demonstration of the tutorial, for the purposes of the tutorial. There we go. There's our power bar, power bar, power bar. Good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 or 10, whatever it is. Doesn't really matter. There you go. So there's our first one. And what we'll do is we'll just duplicate it. Notice how it's doing 1, 2, 3. If you haven't changed the name of it to 1, then it won't do that. 1, 2, so 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, and that's okay. So that one's going to be empty. Number 2, what we'll do is we'll put that as green. Let's just fill that as green. So there we go. Oh, actually, what I will do is I'll duplicate this. Put that right up to the bottom. There. I'll call that 0. Maybe we should have called the first one 0. Because 0 is going to be 0. 1 is going to have 1. 2 is going to have 2. 3 is going to have... In fact, let's do all the green ones first. 1, 2. Let's do 1, 2, 3. See how this is going to work in a minute. We go green, green, green. Green, green, green. Oops. Control Z to undo that. Green, green, green. Green, green. Oops. Green, green. Good. Okay. 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just do yellow. Oh. Why is 4 not done it right? No. Green. Green, green, green. Now we do yellow. Thank you. Oh, I missed it on number 5 as well. That's me not paying attention. Green, green, green. 5. 1, 2, 3, 6. And then there we go. Yellow, yellow, yellow. Just realised there's a quicker way of doing that. I'm sure someone has probably spotted that. There you go, 7, 8, 9, there we go, so 6 is 6, 7, let's go for red, 7, 8, there we go, duplicate, this is how you should have done it, duplicate 9, and duplicate, and this time we'll do 10, there we go, let's just move that over there, in fact move it up there for us. So there's our power bar, and as you can see, it goes from all the way from 0 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There you go, 9 through to 10 to full power. So how's this going to work? Well, this is nice and easy, this one. When you press start, there we go. Again, another forever loop. There we go. What we're going to do is we're going to try and use this power variable to control it. So there we go, set. Let's have a look. Switch costume 2, forever, switch costume 2. Now we can't do power. Let's have a look. Let's just try. In fact, we could try power. Let's have a look. Let's see what that does. Switch costume to power. Okay, so there you go. So it's almost working, but the problem is, of course, as soon as power goes over 14, it then just turns off. It goes back to costume 0. So we can't have power itself. So let's try power divided by. Let's try and divide it by 3 or 4. Let's try 4. Let's have a look. So there we go. There you go. I'm going to have to change that green colour because the green's no good. I think I might just change the green there. You can see it's just, you can't really see it, which makes it pretty useless, but you can almost see it. There you go. So that works almost perfectly now, doesn't it? It's kind of getting there, but it's still got the problem where when it goes power above, let's have a look. If the power's above a certain amount, then power divided by 4 is greater than 10, it doesn't really know what to do, and it sort of struggles. So let's have a look. What we can say there is, let's add an if statement. If power divided by 4 is greater than 10, got costume 10, haven't we? That's what our problem, isn't it? Costume 10, 11. Ooh, 11. Yeah. Greater than 11. Power costume. If the power divided by 4 is greater than 11, then we'll just switch to costume 11. Didn't realise you're 11. Oh, I don't know what's happening there. Costume 10. There we go. That hopefully will fix that. Let's have a look. So there we go. Perfect. Oh, don't know where our ball's just gone. There he is. So there you go. Brilliant. So you get the idea. Ah, now there you go. There's another glitch, isn't it? So if our power, obviously that must there go. I don't know what that value is there, but if it's too low, if our power is 0, then it switches to full power. So what we can do here is, let's have a look. If power less than 1, yeah. If our power is less than 1, switch to costume 0. And that hopefully will fix that glitch. Let's have a look. Full power, full power, full power. Ooh. Ah, now there you go. Less than 2 maybe. Let's try less than 2. 1. There we go. That's a bit better, isn't it? Obviously you can tweak it to however you want it to work in your game, but that's about right. In your game, I would change those colours to a different colours. What I also did as well is at the start of the game, not change, oops, just change the transparency. We set the ghost effect, which is kind of like transparency, set it to 50 or something. That hopefully, there you go. So now it's a more subtle power bar. There you go. Ooh, perfect. And there we go. We now have a fully working game. It should go right through. And go right through there. Perfect. And it goes on to the next level. And it will keep going through level after level after level. Good. So the game is done. So where can you take it from there? What else can we do? The next thing you could do, I would say, is I'd add some sound effects so that every time it hits either the wall here or it hits one of these orangey brown things, then it makes a noise. That would be that's a nice easy one to move on to. Next little extension. Once you've done that, you can look at doing a scoring so that it keeps track of how many shots it took you per hole, and you can get a score for each hole, or you could have you could set a par for each hole, so it should take you 3 shots, but if it takes you 4, then your score is -1. All those sorts of things. You could add a start menu that says welcome to mini golf, and then has a start button which puts you onto the first level. That's not too hard to put into place. Or if you really want a real challenge, then you could look at maybe adding a multiplayer version of it. So you have 2 people, they take turns, that's player 1, it player 2, and it keeps track over the 10 rounds to see who won. All sorts of options. Background music would be a good one to do. You could add some other obstacles, so you could do like rough areas where it goes slow, do some sand where it goes really slow, a water feature, so if you land in the water you have to go back to the start from the level, all sorts of things. The world's your obster. Anyway, so there it is, all done. If you want any more tutorials, then go to learn.co.uk and click on the Scratch lessons, or just go to the YouTube channel. And as always, if you want to request a different tutorial, then just put it in the comments, and any ideas you got for a tutorial you want that you can't do, just let me know. Thank you very much.